This is your mic. This is the magnet. So in back you can, or else you have this one.
How much does the mic cost?
25.
Good quality.
Very good quality.
Yeah.
It's DJI, yeah. Like usually all the content creators use this one only, nothing else.
Is it?
Yeah, like recently my brother gifted me. Like I always wanted to start like this, this podcast and all. So
You have a nice brother, bro.
see, it's fitting, right? I think we all are in that.
Yep.
I checked, mic is working, everything is working.
Mine mic is also working.
Yeah, it's connected. Yes,
Okay,
I've
cool.
checked. No worries.
Cool.
Intro will take some time, like, so that you'll also be little comfortable.
Sure.
Little
Yeah.
like this. Not like this, not like this. Yes,
Okay,
perfect.
okay.
So that it looks correct, like we all.
Yeah.
this
Done,
thing.
done.
How's your day? We'll first feel little comfortable.
Yeah,
so
sure,
that
sure,
will
sure.
be little okay.
The day was good, bro. Like,
You had any calls, sir? Morning. Any interesting calls, or is it the same one?
so I have one later today. No new companies since morning, but a lot of fund work. Like we're in the middle of raising a new fund, so
Oh.
we got some of our companies are raising the next round of investments. So
So when you say raising their investments, it's with like any HNI people where they're looking to
no,
invest in money.
No. I mean, these are funds
Okay.
that pool other people's capital and then invest.
But it could be like retail investors.
Usually no. So if you invest in a fund in India, you have to put a minimum of 1 crore into the
Above.
fund,
Okay.
and so retailers usually don't put that kind of money into a alternate investment fund. So usually you have HNIs, UHNIs, family offices, other large institutional
So family
funds.
offices might be your customers. Like basically, they might give you some money to manage in a VC fund, or else they will be directly investing in startups.
Yeah. So
That could be also be the case.
because so say for a VC fund, their full-time job is to find good investment opportunities. Usually, a VC fund would have a better deal flow than a general family office that looks at multiple assets.
Mhm.
So while they might choose to invest in startups directly, they would also prefer maybe putting some money into VC funds where they feel like there's better deal flow. So there's merit in diversifying.
You're good. Like
Yeah,
I think
so-
you're confident enough, and
Yeah.
I'm also ready to go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's remove this actually.
No need, no. I think it
Yeah.
will be clear, like if this is the case.
Yeah. It felt like it was distracting.
Yeah. And it will take like most of the space as well.
Mm-hmm.
We good to go?
We're good to go, sir.
Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Dhanush and this is Ritvik. I'm very excited to have Ritvik with us for today's podcast. Ritvik has been working with a VC firm for the past couple of years. And today he's with us to give good insights about this industry. Welcome him, and I really appreciate your time and efforts, Ritvik. Thank you for joining for today's podcast.
Of course.
How does your typical day look like?
Right. So I've been a VC now for 3 years, more than 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Worked at 2 different funds, and typically for most of us, the day is composed of 3 to 4 key activities.
Mhm.
One is you're speaking with founders. Second is you're speaking with other investors.
Okay.
Third, of the founders, you might be speaking to founders who are looking to raise capital.
Mhm.
Then the second kind of founder you speak to is the kind of founder you've already given capital. That's a portfolio founder,
Mhm.
and they may need something, and you're looking to help them. And we can get more into like what kind of help can a VC offer to portfolio companies.
Right.
And lastly, like you're talking to everything else. So like it could be a company that wants to sell products or give some benefits to your portfolio, distribute the products. You could have service providers, right? So you have everything else. Sometimes a lot of internal meetings can happen to discuss
So this is how your
investments.
typical day look like.
Yes,
So it could be
yes.
the 4 key parts where you might be working.
Yeah.
Okay, I think you've been like almost 3 years working in a VC
More,
firm.
3.5. Yeah.
Okay, so I think most of the people who are watching this podcast
Mm.
might not have an idea like what a VC firm does. Like they might be having no idea itself. can you just brief out like what VC fund is in simple words?
Right. So one easy way to think about it is think about a mutual fund, right? So you would put money into a mutual fund because it is run by managers that are very capable of understanding how to invest in the market. So you say, okay, instead of me investing in the market, I'll put money into a mutual fund. The mutual fund will invest on my behalf. But they'll not take your money and invest. It goes into a common pool, and then they make decisions of the pool, right? And in exchange, you pay them some kind of a management fees, right? So same thing with the VC fund. VC fund comes under this, in India, this class called alternate investments. So people pool money into a fund, and there's a fund manager. Fund manager has a team of analysts, associates, basically an investment team. And you have legal, finance team otherwise. But the key thing is that, okay, this manager is capable of finding and evaluating opportunities in startups.
Okay.
So you invest in those startups through the fund, and the fund manager decides, okay, how much to put where. There's a strategy that you pitch to the people you raise capital from. In this format, typically the people who put money into the VC fund are called limited partners or LPs, and the fund manager who manages the fund, they also have to put some money of themselves also in the fund.
Sorry to interrupt. Is it compulsory to someone to invest in such a SPV structure, whatever it is?
Not SPV. It's called AIF, Alternate Investment Fund.
Okay, so as if I'm a fund manager, should I? Is it compulsory to put some money or from my end?
Yes. There are rules around it. If this is a India structure, if you are registered outside India, then those countries may have their own. But in India, you have a specific license called Alternate Investment Fund license, in which I'm forgetting what's the term, but basically you have to give some skin in the game. You have to put some of your own capital.
Understood.
Which is not coming from your management fees. It has to come from your personal net worth.
Okay, so it basically says that, okay, even the fund manager is confident enough about the fund, so, and that's the reason he would have put his money and taking decisions on certain investment product.
All good AMCs also have enough skin in the game from their team, so it's a good practice for you to share risk with people who have trusted you.
Right, sounds good. And if someone wants to be a part of a VC firm, is there any degree like they have to work it on and get into that particular fund?
No. So for context, I'm actually an anthropologist by education.
Okay.
I have a BA in sociology and anthropology, and I worked on more than 20 investments so far, and we had a very high-paced, high-octane career in VC so far, and hopefully I'll continue to as well. So I feel like, as a personal example, I would say no. What one looks for is, firstly, it's hustle, right? Like you have to. There's no Bloomberg terminal. There's no Zerodha or Grow where you type a ticker and you get information. Companies, discovering the companies,
right?
Especially in early stage VCs where it's just unknown right now. There's no press release. There's no source of information. Discovering companies is more than half of the job.
Right.
More than actually evaluating. Almost sometimes, the better the deal flow you have, the more likely you are to make good decisions. Right. So there's just a lot of hustle. You have to network aggressively, you have to meet people, you have to spend time with them, you have to maybe visit colleges, incubators, you have to visit different cities, visit events, right? Be active on LinkedIn. A lot of inbound also comes. You have to be very responsive on inbound. And over time also, the best behavior creates a good brand that attracts good people to you through referrals, right? So that's one. So hustle is most important. You'll be surprised, very few people have it. Right. So I would say that's single most determinant factor of survival in venture capital. Can you hustle your way out of a problem? Beyond that, I would say I deeply believe that investing is a deeply a liberal arts discipline where you should be capable of looking at a particular business, a particular problem, a particular solution from different lenses, right? So that you can be better at spotting opportunity where others are not spotting opportunities.
Right.
Right.
That's
And
the most hard part, I think.
that's I would still say building access is the hardest, like finding good companies, because having people come to you is really hard, like especially companies that have very strong builders, second time founders, they tend to have VCs in the network already.
Fair.
And actually the hardest is to get them to take your money if you're a newcomer. But I would say that yes, when it comes to underwriting a company or an investment, understanding okay whether this is something that can be big or not, there's so much experience that is almost mandatory, so that you can build the high quality mental models and test those mental models enough. And over time, like if you are somebody who is not arrogant, not like don't have a high ego or humble, you'll keep tweaking those mental models, admitting, okay, I was wrong here, I could have been better. And you just go through a recursion of that. That sort of experience is what eventually makes you very good at picking investments.
I think there's a lot of study, I think, before investments, right? I think most of the people think, oh, this looks fancy, and most of them might even not even know how much hard it's to find the real companies and invest in the right products. And you told me that it's been almost 3 years, right? Like you've been in. How did you got to know about VC? Like, is someone like introduced, or you just were very always fascinated about this industry?
I mean, I grew up not knowing what VC is. Like,
Okay.
so if you were to ask a 10-year-old Ritvik, like, maybe you'll hear entrepreneur is what I want to be, but not a VC. I think it was chance during COVID. I was active on LinkedIn and started seeing a lot of funding announcements, because there was like a hype cycle that was built around then.
Okay.
And
that's how you got into this industry.
That's how I got to know about venture capital. Like, why are people so proud of raising money from VCs? Okay, like, could be
Nice.
interesting. But yeah, that was like, I did not know about it before.
Nice, yeah. And help me understand. I think this most of the time I ask myself, if someone is looking to raise money from a VC, and you guys, as you mentioned, there's a lot of mental models. What lot of research you guys do? You guys bet on either the product or the founder. This is the one question.
Founder.
Is only the founder.
100%.
It's not the product.
100%.
Okay, so the founder would be the torch bearer for any investments then.
Think about it like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
A product is an abstraction of the founder, right?
Right? Right. True.
And a product also evolves as the market grows, as competition comes in.
Right.
So, especially early stage VC, you never have a final product. You don't
Right.
have a final business model also, right?
Right.
But the decisions that will be made on the way to ensure this becomes a large, lasting company are in the founder, right? And okay, so the best definition I've ever heard of what is a company is that a company is a bundle of decisions, right? Like, similar to, maybe one could argue, life is a bundle of decisions,
Right,
choices we
right.
make. So similar, company is bundle of decisions.
Right.
So
I heard people saying that company is the right people and right decisions. Even one of my colleague used to say, company
Yeah.
is nothing but it's not a building.
Yeah.
It's a people.
Yeah.
Make the decisions and run the company right. So,
in fact, even before that, it's decisions, because you decide to on which people should enter a company and not.
Right.
So who makes the most important decisions in a company? Is the CEO, or
Right.
earlier the founder, and usually they're the same, right? So you're almost always betting on a person to make the right decisions and making this a big successful company.
interesting. So I think the founder is the one, like you guys just
Yeah,
work
so
on.
if you see like an impressive product, or say an impressive business model, or an impressive timing advantage to a company, of impressive strategy, right? It almost always tells you this is a good person to take a bet on.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, great product tells me you're a good founder, but you can be a good founder and you can have an unfinished product at the moment. Especially, like, I work at pre-seed, seed stage, very early stage, usually the first investor in the company. So
Interesting. I think this just blew my mind. Like, so good data this is. So VCs are just basically investing based on the founder's appetite, whether they'll be able to take the product to the market, and whether they'll be
appetite, acumen, track record, maybe.
So when you say the track record, is it basically like they should have some proof of work, like in that?
Yeah,
particular
some proof
industry?
of work helps. Industrial proof of work is a very good signal to noise.
Okay.
Having worked in a high growth startup is a very good signal to noise
Okay.
proxy, because you yourself see, it's like VC funded companies grow at an astronomical and most importantly at an abnormal pace.
Right.
Like it's a very rare thing for a company to become like $1 billion company in 5 years, right? It's almost unpredictable, unlikely, and there's no like playbooks for it almost, right? Like, and if you've been in a company, you've seen, okay, what is the attitude of people? They move fast, break things. For example, in Facebook, if you start a business division, I've heard it from a friend, if you start a business division that does $500 million, $600 million, they'll shut it down. They don't want to touch anything that doesn't do less than $1 billion.
Oh.
Right? That's an attitude. Like, whereas, like, you'll just not see that. Like, nobody will have the stomach to kill a business that's doing 500, 600 million otherwise, right? Like, so I think carrying those learnings, that attitude, that you learn through osmosis of being around amazing people and an amazing captain of the ship, is what you'll try to replicate, right? Like, we try to replicate our past environments in our future. So, so having worked in high growth companies is a great signal to noise.
Nice, yeah. So it's basically, as people say, no, we always bet on people and their experience. That is how you will be able to either make a good product or make a good company, like.
Yes.
And okay, this could be like most of the people, like in NS also, like they're building multiple products. I hear that a lot of people wanted to raise funds, like with a VC or something. What is the one advice you can basically tell them, like if they really wanted to raise money? Like, what is the one?
Sure. Yeah. I think like a lot of builders falter at communication and communicating effectively what they're doing. Maybe they are very impressed by the complexity and the sophisticated, how sophisticated the technology is. But to someone who is not in that industry, who's not maybe even a builder, they may not care. They might still be great investors, right?
Right.
So I often say that, like, how would your mother or your wife or your brother, sister, siblings would describe what you're doing? Always lead with that sentence. And like, firstly, like, if you're unhappy with how they describe you, then maybe like, can you spend time explaining to them? But if they had to describe to somebody in their circle who's again non-technical, doesn't belong to like some startup, how would they describe what you're doing? I think that one line tells you everything about how somebody who's out of your bubble would perceive the value in what you're building. And it's that narrative, like, you dump like 5-10 lines on me, but what's that one synthesis I'm creating in my mind? That's really what you have to control, because I can go by saying, hey, this guy's building something complex in Web3, I don't get it. Could be interesting, sounded fancy. Or it could be, hey, this guy who worked in SpaceX is now looking to build rockets that can deliver cars, and like, apparently moving cars is a very, very expensive overship. So this actually commercially makes sense and could lead to like, so whatever. I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud, but it's a very simple, mere mortal way of describing, but it just shows you what's the value, what's the opportunity, right? So what does that one-liner look like? What would you tell me if you were to meet me in a lift, right? I think spending time on how the mindshare will be captured, what will be
tagline.
With that tagline, I think that's a very, very critical thing. That
interesting. That is an interesting point. I think most of them have to work like, what is the tagline, so that most of the VCs will be excited to know more what these guys are building on.
Yeah, just simply like, if there's a very good big VC in a lift, your mother calls you like, I'm entering lift with this person. How will like she describe what you're building to the person? And like, especially if she wants you to raise capital, but at that time you're not there to pitch.
Right.
Like, so how will she pitch what you're building? I think like that's a great way to think about how to pitch your company.
That's a good way of thinking, right?
Yeah.
Like, anyone should be able to basically know what you're solving the problem.
Yeah.
In simple words.
Yeah.
Anyone should be able to basically tell what the problem statement you're
Oh,
solving.
what the opportunity is.
What is the opportunity? That's the right word, right?
Yeah, there are like many problem statements, but some are good opportunities, some are not.
That's the right word. Opportunity. What is the
opportunity.
right opportunity?
Yeah, investors and founders meet at a common place, I believe, and that place is called opportunity.
Interesting. I think this is one of the interesting part of this video. Okay, so I think this is basically on NS. Like you've been here for a month, right?
Yes.
How you got to know about NS? Like,
I have a friend who visited here earlier this year, and she recommended me to spend some time. I thought I'll get to meet people I don't otherwise get to meet, and that will teach me something new.
that's nice. And this is again on the VC. So when you guys invest, maybe in a company, how often do you guys be in touch with the founders?
So, I mean, All-in Capital usually doesn't take board seats. So, usually there's like a cadence that's set just because board meetings happen, right? But usually once a month.
Once a month.
But it's, at least there's a philosophy at the fund I work, and what I personally believe in is that like a company should send regular business updates at whatever time is agreed upon. But apart from that, it's usually better if the founder comes to you with a problem than you waste their time.
Understood. So like usually the companies what you guys have invested is like the founders usually come with any problems, or is it like they generally do the regular discussions?
There are four ways that we help founders, and any VC can help founders. Any more than that, I don't think so. Like, and again, this doesn't include like giving cloud credits and all that. That's definitely there, but it's mostly network. One is connecting them to investors that will invest in their next round. Second is connecting them with great talent that you might chance upon because you're a VC and you're out there, you're in the network, so you just might have access to interesting people. And third is connecting them with potential customers or business partners. So these are three network related helps, and there's one that's like a sounding board help, just because like you see journey of multiple companies and here with multiple people, like at times the founder is just very fatigued of having the tunnel vision of building the company, so they just want to bounce off ideas and get fresh perspective, just because you have a different way of looking at like an outside-in view. So sometimes they just call to brainstorm.
Nice, yeah. This is an interesting insight. And if someone is wanted to invest like in a VC firm, what is the minimum capital amount in
1
India?
crore.
That's the minimum capital size. And is there like any regulations like I need to have so much high network in my assets and so on?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure on that. So like anyone with one crore.
I don't see. I mean, there's definitely a definition of accredited investor.
Yeah, accredited investor.
So
yes,
most
right.
likely, like it's a good idea if you're an accredited investor to invest. But
yeah, I
at
know,
this
like,
moment, I'll have to.
Accredited investors. I see a lot of investment products actually ask like, are you an accredited investor?
They do, and you have because you have to report to SEBI whether the person is an accredited or not. But also, as far as I know, but again, I'm out of my depth when it comes to like specific regulations.
Okay.
Because I focus more on investments.
Got it. So you're that investment guy. Like post money has come, like what has to be done for that money?
Yeah, I find opportunities, I evaluate them and recommend to the general partner whether we should invest or not.
Nice. And what about the industries you are bullish on as of today? Like one could be
so
the
I'll
blockchain.
I'll speak about India because that's where my experience is. And that's where most of my insights come from. So I don't know about blockchain, how that'll evolve in India, right? Because I don't. My fund doesn't spend time on that. So.
And what is your fund's main objective like on investments? Is it on any particular sector?
No. So thesis is not sector; it is sector agnostic.
Okay. Sector?
Sector agnostic.
What do you mean by
like that? We're generalists. We look at multiple sectors.
Got it.
Right?
Generalist.
But blockchain we haven't spent much time on yet. Due to, I don't know. There's no reason. We just haven't.
Maybe the opportunities or something.
Opportunities haven't come. Yeah. But personally, I'm very bullish on India's deep tech story.
Okay.
And hardware story,
Even hardware, you are bullish on hardware.
yeah, deep tech and hardware together, so some degree, and there's some union, and then they're also slightly different in some ways, but space tech, maybe innovations in biomedical sciences, robotics for sure, like there's good stuff we can do in robotics, but what doesn't come that's in hardware could be just electronics, bringing more manufacturing onshore, China plus one. These things are, people have been bullish about it for a while. India is giving a lot of subsidies and incentives. Government is putting money into deep tech funds through SIDBI. There's also a space fund that they're running, I think, within space. So there's a lot of capital going into the space, and because I think somewhere for a while we've been pushing to move towards more sovereignty, and just the way geopolitics has been evolving, it's very clear that was a good decision to push towards sovereignty and domestic production, make in India, all that. And we still have a long way to go, but yeah, and we're a country of almost 1.5 billion people, top 5, definitely I think top 10 GDP, a lot of domestic consumption, a lot of domestic production. So
Nice,
we should be
interesting
doing well.
data this is. So like most of the VC firms like I see, they are mostly on tech driven, like they want.
Can we cut
Yeah,
for
yeah.
a second? 1 second.
Sure.
Hey Karthik. Yeah, 1 minute. Bro, it's 4:12, so let me.
We can just close it. Like
Yeah,
I'll ask
let's
this
close
last
it if
one
that's okay.
question.
Yeah, let's
then
close
I'll
it.
just close
Let's
it.
close it. Yeah.
I think you close that. No need to worry. My editor will take care of that.
I closed that answer.
You close that answer, right? So no worries. Ritvik, what is your one favorite book like you want everyone to suggest to read it? It could be your best book, maybe. Like I just want to know.
I'll answer it in a slightly different way.
Okay.
I think there is a book called The Power Law that gives a very interesting history of venture capital.
Oh,
So
nice.
if,
The Power Law.
The Power Law. I think the author's name is Sebastian Malby.
I'll definitely read it.
I really enjoyed reading that book. Yeah.
Sure, yeah. I think I really appreciate that you have been part of this podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming and giving us good insight about this industry.
Yeah.
I really appreciate. I hope the people who are watching this podcast would definitely would have got something about this industry, right? Thank you
Awesome.
guys for watching.
Thank you.
See you around the next podcast. Bye bye.
Awesome. Did you like it?
Definitely, bro.
So glad to be here.